Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while. Today I'm going to be doing another book review, and the book I'll be reviewing is Unleashed by Sophie Jordan. This is the second and final book in the Uninvited duology. The first book, Uninvited, I read last year around this time, and I absolutely loved it. It became one of my favorite books of 2014, and so I was super excited to get into the sequel and final book, and so I pre-ordered it and got it on its release date, started reading it, but took me about a month to actually finish this one. Whereas Uninvited, I finished it in one day, and this one, Unleashed, it took me a month to read through it and finish it. Sadly, I was disappointed with this book, and I'll get into why a little bit later on. But first off, let me start off with a synopsis. So I'm going to review a little bit of what happened in Uninvited to sort of give you a synopsis of Unleashed. So if you haven't read Uninvited, just a warning, there might be some spoilers when I review or summarize the first book. There'll probably be spoilers for the first book. There won't be spoilers for this one, for Unleashed, but there'll probably be spoilers for Uninvited. So if you haven't read it, just a warning right now. So Uninvited is the first book. And it's a dystopian story. So in this society, scientists have found this gene that they call the kill gene. The technical name for it is homicidal tendency syndrome. And so anyone with this gene is said to be a killer. Whether they've never killed before, doesn't matter how good they seem on the outside, or what they were doing prior to the discovery of this gene. Whoever has this gene, no matter how nice they seem, they are predicted to become a killer one day. And so they started separating everyone with this gene. They started separating them from society. And so the main character in the book, Davy, she grew up as this music prodigy, good girl, A student in school. But then one day she finds out she has this gene. And so she basically gets kicked out of her school. She loses her friends, her boyfriend, her mom's afraid of her. The only one who still sees her the same is her brother Mitchell, which I love his character. But anyway, so she is basically separated from everyone else. She's put into, she gets sent to this camp, this special camp called Mount Haven for carriers of the gene like her. And the camp is for people with the gene who also have special abilities or talents that the government can use to their advantage. So Davy, being a music prodigy, she gets sent off to this camp. And basically, they're training them to be killers at this camp, basically. And things go down in the first book. Tons of stuff happens. And by the end of it, Davy, along with a couple of her friends, Sean, Gil, and Sabine, they all escape the camp, and they are basically trying to get away and get out of the country. And so that's pretty much where the first book leaves off. So now, Unleashed, the second book, picks up right where the first one leaves off. And so Sabine, Gil, Sean, and Davy are, they've just escaped from the camp, and they're trying to cross the border and get into Mexico. And along the way, they get separated. Davy gets separated from her friends, and she gets injured along the way. And the leader of this resistant group, there's this resistant group on the border of the U.S. and Mexico. That's where they're stationed, and their whole mission or purpose is to help carriers escape and find refuge, and resist the government. And so she ends up, or the leader of the resistance, Caden, ends up finding Davy injured and takes her back to their compound to get her help, get her injuries like that. And so pretty much from that point on, the book is pretty much their relationship. Caden and Davy. It's pretty much their relationship. Them falling in love with each other, and her, having her guard up, but him trying to break through her walls and get her to let her guard down. And that's about 90% of the book is their relationship and them falling in love. So right there you can see kind of why I'm disappointed with this book. Originally I gave this a 3 stars, but now the more and more I think about it, the more I'm thinking it's probably more 2.5-ish. Because about 90% of the book was their relationship and falling in love with each other. And at times in the book, I'm like, okay, when are we going to get to the actual resistance? When are we going to get something happening here? And towards the end, there are some things that start to happen towards the middle and going into the end where you think, okay, this could be interesting, but then it ends up being part of this whole love triangle thing. And so I was disappointed with this one. Not that I didn't enjoy Caden and Davy's relationship. I like their relationship well enough. I don't remember I don't remember entirely how I felt about Davy and Sean's relationship from the first book. Because I read the first one over a year ago, and I didn't reread it before I read this one, so I don't remember how exactly I felt about their relationship. I feel like I did like them together, but I didn't love them together. And so with Caden and Davy in the second book, I liked it well enough, but I wish there was more going on. I wish there were more to the story. I wish there was more about their mission with the resistance, more of, them actually fighting back the government and taking action and doing stuff. But it was basically a love story in this one. Um, the one thing I will say is, like, at the end of each chapter, before the beginning of the next chapter, there's usually like little blurbs or press release of conversations between the president and the agencies that are hunting down the carriers, and what's going on with the law, and like, that type of stuff, what's going on with the agencies. And so those parts were interesting, and I wish we got more of those type of stuff in the stories. But for the most part, like I said, about 90% of this book, probably 95% of this book, ended up being a love story with Caden and Davy, and then a little bit of a twist at the end with their love story, which kind of felt like at the twist at the end with their love story, I felt like I was watching a Lifetime movie. The way it got thrown in with this other character, it's like, okay, this just became a Lifetime movie. So yeah, needless to say, I was pretty disappointed. So probably give it a 2.5. And the other thing, I wish, like, you get little pieces of Davy's brother Mitchell. Like, there's like one letter you see from him in the middle of the story, and then he doesn't show up again to the very end. But I really liked his character in the first book, and I wish they would have used him more. In the second one, I wished, like, somehow, some way, Mitchell, like, I was kind of hoping we would find out that her brother Mitchell had joined the resistance too, and later on they would meet up and he would be helping them fight and stuff. And so, but that's sadly not what happened. So, yeah. It's really unfortunate that sometimes books, especially duologies, are like this. The first book is amazing, and then you get the sequel, and it's just a huge letdown and completely different than what you expected. So, yeah, if you're looking for a super cool, action-packed, like, sequel to the first book where they're fighting the government and they're doing all this stuff, don't expect that from this book. If you're just looking for a cute love story, then by all means go for this one. But other than that, it was, I would give it a 2.5. So that's it for this review. Let me know what you guys thought if you've read these books. Let me know what your comments are, especially if you've read Unleashed. Let me know what you thought, if you liked it, if you didn't, were you disappointed. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. I will see you guys next time with another video. Bye.